Welcome in, everybody. We have an amazing matchup between Elysium and Invictus. We're starting today off with Dredge on Midwich. We have Zaka playing for Team Elysium versus Kexo, Nightlight, Pedro, Dan. This is a very important matchup for today, though, because the loser of this is officially out, third place, but the winner will be facing Ascent in the grand finals. I'm excited. Both teams have put in a lot of work to make it this far, and then both fighting for this spot. We do have a quick tag on the Pedro, and we do got two really strong pallets out at 4. We haven't found anybody who says a tag on the Pedro, so we are getting a little bit of slow nightfall buildup, and we do actually find him once again trying to play for the sound here. While we do have a lot of gen progress on the map, we are just trying to make sure we last and hold a really good chase here. We know there's no pallet here, so hopefully there is a pallet in 3 room, and it looks like we might not be able to make that. I don't think we make this, and this will be a down onto Pedro at 5 generators, or 4 generators now. We do see a really fast off of a generator. We do see also a really unique build that we don't see very often. I want to say we see Pain, Resurrection, Pop, and Corrupt. I don't see Corrupt very often in Dread sets, so it's cool to kind of see a little bit of use out of it. A little bit of a slow rotation by Kexo, hopefully able to get the pull while Dan is going to be kind of big chase. Kexo though looks like he wants to rotate in for this, and we will begin the pull onto Pedro. We do teleport to the one locked locker, unfortunately, and we are going to be having to try to get the down onto Pedro with God Palette still up. Holding a pretty good check spots, able to make it a little bit out. Now has to be very careful. We do see him going all the way around, and oh no, this might end up in a death, and it will. Really well played by Zaka. Outplay the God Palette. We did need a little bit of help there from Pedro, so hopefully that generator that Dan is working on will pop. I don't think it will before we end up getting a hook. We have a painters above us. Ooh, we're gonna get the painters before we're actually able to pop the generator, and that will be our second hook on the Pedro. Pop, or painters coming through, and we also do have Pop in play. We are in a very rough room. What are we gonna do? We do have to get an FTP by Kexo, but Pedro has to last here. It looks like we might not be going for him. We actually are not playing for Pedro. Oh my goodness, I can't believe Dan made it out of there without a tag, and we're able to make it to the God Palette and bathroom. But we have to be very careful of Zaka using his power here correctly. Trying to bait a quick vault by Dan. Oh, unfortunately there is no more timer. It's kind of like a lot harder to tell when he is not in power anymore. And with Killing Blade, it means we get sloppy when we get M1 tags in the Nightfall. Dan has to be very careful here. Not a lot to work with. It looks like we're going to be stuck in this room once again. Oh, we're actually taking it up, and that might be death here, and it will be. We do have a second generator pop and some pretty good gen prog on the map. So possibly 2 more gens popping here very shortly. It looks like we kind of got scared by a potential head-on there. With our third hook coming in, our second pain res. We have gen prog. Whoa, we don't hear Kexo because of Iron Will. We do have a lot of progress on the gen. Oh wait, I think we ended up teleporting back to Remnant for Nightfall was over, and that was Kexo getting KA. Did we make bathroom? I don't think we make it. Ooh, we do end up getting the shot onto Kexo, and that will be a down. Where's Dan at? Dan playing really close. Pop coming in onto the generator. We do see, I want to say that was Pedro rotating for a pickup. Toto has to be really careful here. This could be very dangerous for him if caught out in a bad rotation. We do get our pickup on the Kexo. And almost... Oh, we're about to have our 4th generator done. Do we make that? Yeah, we do. Ooh. That could have been bad. We took kind of a scenic route, but because of how long it took to get this hook, that is a 4th generator pop. Now, a really good thing to know is we have a really bad 3-gen here. Like, this is a really rough 3-gen try to break. Dan taking it all the way up to one opposite side of the gens. We could potentially see a gen pop if Dan has a really good chase here, really good greed, allowing him to make the library pallet, and ooh, really good time to send it to the down, or send it down below, and we're able to make it around. Oh, really good pathing. Dan buying so much time in this chase. This will finally be a down onto Dan, but do we have gen progress? We don't have gen prog for it. So even though Dan had a really, really long chase, it kind of almost just didn't matter because, I mean, we got the resets, which is really good, but we got like no gen pressure on this 3-gen at all. Pedro has to have a chase here. And no, actually, we're going to be playing for Dan instead. But Kexo, once again, with another FTP, means both of our tunnel out survivors are healthy. And we end up swapping to Kexo here instead and trying to get a quick down because we know he was playing around FTP. Really good stun, really good bait, that he was going to leave the pallet. But unfortunately, I assume this... No, he actually lives. They have a lot of gen pressure. This chase lasting. And pain was already used on him. We have to slug. We have to go to the one generator we didn't have progress, so now we have to drop down, and we do know 8 has a good amount of progress as well. Oh, we baited the double, and now we know where... Oh, this is hard. Zaka in a really tough situation. Needs to get it down, and... Honestly, he needs to try to get a kill. The fact that we still have 4 survivors with 1 generator, and both generators above 60%. This is not looking very good for Zaka. A very tough position to be in at the moment. Oh, unfortunately, over. Hey, Papa! No way! I gotta be honest, it's very rare seeing all gens pop again to Dread, so it's really cool. But really well played by Team Invictus here, which means, I mean, any outs against Dread is amazing. So it is going to be onto Elysium Survivor side to have a very good serve side as well to be able to match this result that Team Invictus has. 6 stages is looking, is what it's going to be looking like. Wait, it looks like we want to make this 5. If we're able to make this 5 stages, that'd be kind of insane. Really, like, almost really impossible, it almost seems like, to be a 5-stage result. It will be...
Currently.
6 stages, you're right. I mean, 6 stages, maybe 7. I mean, any outs against Dredge is still a really, like, beautiful result. I feel like it doesn't happen very often, just how much pressure Dredge can, but the fact that all 4 survivors were left alive, it kind of allowed them to take advantage and avoid tag for as long as possible. It looks like we are going to be playing for the 4-man out here. They're all here. It looks like Nightlight going to be the last person to take a tag. We end up walking through, and with Nightlight here, this is going to be a 4-man out, 6 stage only. Honestly, again, really well played by Invictus. Do we get the cutoff on the Dan? I don't think we will. No, we will not. We will be right back with Elysium on Survivor and Invictus on Killer. Welcome back, everybody. We are back with Team Invictus playing Dredge. We have Pedro for Team Invictus versus Pedro, Z, Marco, Zaka, and Zeno, who are playing for Team Elysium. Now, Pedro has I want to say a very good win condition. Has to get 6 stages for press or 7 stages in total to take the win for this first trial. I also was wrong earlier, so it's a best of 3 overall. So the winners for the way they win in this losers bracket overall is they have to win 2 best of 5. So this could potentially, we could see Team Invictus versus Elysium up to 3 matches in total. We do have a really good chase. This could be a down, but we actually don't take that down, and we do allow Pedro to make a little bit a distance. Oh no, but we end up giving the pallet. We do end up seeing also Zeno here to try to take a... Oh! What? Really well played by Zeno to get the pallet sent for his teammate, and Pedro will now live a little bit longer, and we end up swapping to Zeno instead. Playing a very aggressive right now to allow his team to reach that win condition, and we do get a tag. We have 2 injuries on the board. It looks like we are getting a reset on to Pedro. Into courtyard, so Zeno taking a really good chase away from that. We don't get a pallet here. There should be no reason Zeno ends up living in this area, but he ends up eating the remnant and able to make distance to the library. Back pallet has to be very careful here. Oh, and I don't think we make it. I still think a really good chase for that pallet not spawning. We do end up seeing our first generator popping, and a second one almost done as well. We do end up, like, I think Zaka's gonna eat that pain res. Oh no, we do not eat that pain res, and we have 2 generators pop. A really good pace for Team Elysium as well. If you need a chance to get 5 stages or 6 stages, only 2 fresh, this is the pace you kind of need for the opportunity to match the result that Team Invictus had. We do see a pole coming through. We also heard another generator with a lot of progress on it as well. Ruin doing its job and slowly eating these generators. We do end up seeing Zeno once again. Zeno has a lot of distance, trying to play this God Palette at lower 5. Pedro slowly making his way. Able to make a lot of distance. Alert. Oh, he has alert in play as well, so he can kind of play around what he's doing. Zeno needs to have a chase that will allow his team to at least pop 2 more gens before he takes his next hook, I would say. Oh! I swapped at the wrong time because I didn't think a grab was going to happen. Oh my. We do end up getting a good teleport and ends up getting an instant pull. I don't know if that was worth it. Wait, we don't chase Zeno here. We got a hit right off a hook. Did we? I'm surprised we didn't just turn on a Zeno there. Make it a 3v1. Like, all you need to do is get a good amount of stages. I think that would have been like best case scenario, but we do end up finding where Sable is and forcing her off that generator as well. If we can find Zeno in this situation. Wait, Zeno went for pole. Very risky play and might not end up paying off in the way we wanted. We do see Zeno going towards 1 and he needs to last. There is no choice. If Zeno does not have a good chaser, this will more than likely be over for Team Elysium. Ooh, really good fake. He does have window here as well, so he can play this really safe. Oh wait, we get... No way! Zaka comes in for the hit tank and not able to get it. We had to take the tag. We need this. We need Zaka to be injured here. We do get an injury onto Claudia. Claudia able to take the distance away. It looks like we're slugging Xeno. Oh, we're getting the reset. This could be a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Pedro playing really well. Pedro Z able to make a lot of distance here. I think it's going to be a very close game. And that is the down onto Pedro HZ, which means we're at 4 stages and we need 7. Or we need 6 for fresh. We don't have gen pressure though, and Ruin is still in play. So Ruin slowly eating these generators and taking a lot of time from our survivors. We do see the pull coming through, but with Nightfall in play, we're able to quickly and swiftly get back to... Wait, we're going for Xeno. Xeno gonna be taking a tag here. Does Marco and Zaka have gen pressure? They do not. Xeno has to last for a gen to pop, I think. I think he needs to. But really good swing to the pile, and that will be the death onto Xeno, which means we are going into the 3v1 with 1 generator remaining. This could be what Pedro needs to make sure he secures a 4K1 here. HZ on another generator at 5, just with the Ruin in and it being a 3v1, this could be where the game is quickly just over. Ruin does so much power and just has so much strength and power in a 3v1. HZ needs to be careful here. Making distance, but unfortunately, I don't think we got a lot of play besides this one piano pallet. Nice. We knew that Marcus wanted to be there for the, to eat that remnant. I mean, this is still doable. I don't think it's no longer, I mean... Really good game sense. They need to be able to pop both the generators without nobody else dying, I think. Looks like we're going for the pickup, and that just means that generator, all that progress is null and void. Because of Ruin still being in play, and we just can't find Ruin. Down onto Zaka, I would take this hook. This confirms a tie, for sure. This means there is no possible way for Invictus to somehow lose this trial now, once this hook comes through. Which means one more hook is guaranteed. Any more stages is guaranteed win for Team Invictus for trial number 1. We do see both survivors, and it looks like we're gonna be chasing the Sable because we saw Adam at 5. It is all up to Marcos at the moment to keep his team in it. Oh no. With this hook, that is gonna be trial number 1 to Team Invictus. Really well played. Honestly, I want to say Team Elysium did a really good job here as well on Survivor side. Played definitely a little bit more risky because of the wind condition, but still really well played. If Xeno was able to somehow get that Palisade and not die, I think we could have seen all generators pop. Oh, what a tag! We hit the dumb tag with light! And this will more than likely be the down on the Pedro unless he can cook something up here. And with the swing to the pile, that will be the death onto Marcus Zaka, our last remaining survivor. Just trying to get the last generator done, and that will be the 4K1 secured. Wow, what our next set coming up will be, our next trial will be a nurse on family or father's chapel. So once we find all our survivors, we'll be right back with our second set. If we can find them. He crawled. Nash and got him across the map. And we do find our final survivor. We'll be right back with Nurse. Welcome back, everybody, to trial number 2. We have Nurse on Father's Campbell. I want to say this is a little bit, usually like a second or third pick map for her. You see her a lot on Cold Tower very often. I've seen her on Wreckers as well. I do like this map. It's also a very big map for Nurse sometimes. Though you can have some really strong 3-gens, I feel like Sir is more on the serve side to make the mistakes and less and more of Nurse capitalizing on the survivors' mistakes than it is for Nurse to be able to consistently get good results. I don't think you see Nurse 4K as much on this map compared to Cold Tower or even Wreckers. So we are looking for the survivor that was here, and we do see two actually. We see our Sable and our Claudette. And with that fatigue, Nightlight might end up chasing, at least we're going to chase Zaka actually. We do actually kind of lose where Zaka went for a second, and with the prediction, like, we get a really beautiful tag. Zaka has to make sure he dies. We're in the correct position. I don't think I saw a really good gen spread top side. Ooh, but this should be a fast down, and that is a beautiful quick down for Mr. Nightlight himself. We do have our first hook of the trial, and it looks like we're going to be using agitation to drag it more into the map towards our gen spread. I want to say this top, mid, main, and I want to say 9 are kind of really close into a tight 3-gen with a gen deep carnival as well. So a very good gen spread for Team Invictus. Not a lot of gen pressure. The gen pressure that we had kind of got interrupted very early. And with a quick down, we were not able to capitalize, being able to work on our bad gen spread. We do end up seeing a little bit of scratch marks, but we don't know who... We don't know where Xeno went. We are trying to find and see if we can get this rotation, but we will not. And Xeno is going to be our daily player. So if he's able to set up and get a beautiful hole, could lead to Zaka be able to make it to the bottom side of the map. That is where we're working our generators, so we kind of want to have our chases go bot. Ooh, Xeno almost able to fully sneak past, and with that we do get a single blink and a fast down. I wonder if we're gonna be playing for Zaka. If we can time this correctly, we can keep Xeno from getting belly. But a beautiful bounce landing, allowing Zaka to make it pretty far around the map. It's gonna be up Nightlight to try to get a good prediction point, and with that, we do not get the second blink onto Nightlight. Able to create a little bit more distance, but we don't get the blink. It looked like we really wanted the blink. And that will be our second down on the Zaka. It looks like Xeno is not going to burn his UB. And Ruin, officially out of the trial. Our main form of slowdown now for Nurse is gone. We still have Eruption in the pocket, but Eruption isn't as strong or useful as Ruin being up, especially when holding a 3-gen like this. Now we know Zaka has Bounce Landing, but we also see that his Dead Hard. If we can get that Dead Hard, if we can get a really good Dead Hard proc and able to make it down the map, we could see a gen or 2 from top side pop. A Death Spot all the way bottom is going to be really important. We do see a reset. We don't see anybody propped up for save, so it looks like probably will be another pull from Xeno. I want to say Xeno will play for this pull. We do have HZ top of the map. It looks like we are not going to be pressuring him anymore. Xeno really wants this pull. And we get that reset. We 99 to reset. So, we get the pull. We tried to do it safely, but unfortunately we did not get that. And that will be a down onto Xeno. But this time I want to say we do have... What am I saying? No, we do have Dead Hard in the pocket, and we still have UB to burn. It looks like we might be playing for Final Standing, possibly. We're trying to waste as much time as possible. And we get dead hard, and that means we don't take a bottom. It looks like we're playing around main building, but oh, he swallowed blink into the wall, which means Zaka will last a little bit longer, and now able to make it to the bottom side of the map. We need this death now. Oh my goodness, really good pathing by Zaka. Able to create so much time. That will be our 4th generator popping. Do we have one more ready? Oh, we have started our last generator, but that will be death on Zaka, bottom of the map. We still do have it looks like a loose 3-gen between top, mid, main, and 4. I think it's still a holdable 3-gen, but we have a lot of opportunity to pre-lead. Zeno gets a reset. It looks like HZ will be, Predator HZ will be crossing down towards 4. We do see Marcos here somewhere. We do have the... We do end up trying to get a quick tag. We do get a quick injury. Zeno, about 25. And it looks like Pedro is just kind of stealthing. Oh, our blink got swallowed. Does he just pull stun down? Yes. Oh my goodness, I could escape. We're fine. Oh. We're good. I'm so sorry. we do get... We do get to check on top, mid, and no fight on the Xenos, so it means we can take our time to hopefully reset Marcos. Everything's happening. Will we get that? No, yes, we will be looking for that reset onto Marcos and be able to hopefully... Oh, we want that tag. We do see Xeno coming up. It's going to be very important for Xeno to last here. Because I'm pretty sure we might have burned UB this time. I could be wrong. It could still be in play. But with them getting resets, we want Xeno should have, if Xeno was able to stealth that, it would have been very important. So they could get a reset and be able to get gen pressure all together. With that though, we do get the reset, but now we have Xeno on the ground. So we are kind of hoping that Xeno has Unbreakable here for Team Elysium. Nihilate has done a really good job kind of taking this game back into control. Oh, I don't think we have it. Which means this is kind of real, like this is really insanely good for Nihilate here. Xeno not be able to get up, knowing where probably both survivors are. All we need to do right now is make sure we can get a tag on to Marcos to that 4. But a big problem is with this generator being so far down that we will be able to pre-leave almost every time. So we know Xeno's top, but we can't really hook him without losing all of our pressure, right? We want him to pull, but we can't afford to. Marcos, pre-leaving once again. This is where this map becomes so difficult to play as Nurse. Just the amount of pre-leaving. All the survivors need to do is just pre-leave and stealth in the right spots. Pedro's HC, full sending a deep carnival. Xeno also deep carnival. Doesn't get the reset off. But he has enough for the reset. But that will be a tag and a stun. We do not have overcome. And that will be our down onto Xeno. Looks like we will be just taking the tag and just taking the hook as well for just a save. I think we understand that this is going to be very difficult to 4K. So we're just going to take the deadly hook, try to get it out, and try to see if we can get a tag onto either of these survivors. We do end up finding Marcos. I almost called him Maurice. But we find Marcos, and it looks like we're going to ignore that actually, and see if we can get a tag, maybe another down onto Xeno. Xeno touched a gen. This could be a quick down. Oh, we do find out Pedro as well. It looks like maybe a tag onto Pedro, or do we commit this? It looks like we want to commit. If we can get an M1, or even a single blink, it means we'll be able to blink right on top of Pedro. And that will be our down onto Pedro. It looks like we do see Marcus on 5. Or Marcus on 5. Eruption Aura. We are really worried about this generator, so if we get this down, it could be a really good position to be in. Ooh, we held on to that blink just enough to where we didn't get hit by that firecracker. We do see the pickup coming through, so with life, we are just trying to see if we can get a quick down here. Oh, really good passing by Marcus to be able to buy his team a little bit more time. Allow them to get, hopefully, full resets here. Doing a really beautiful job taking it all the way to the opposite side of this map. I think a good position for Nightlight. He's worried about this gen popping, but we do know that both of our survivors are resetting. No, we're self-carrying. What an interesting game plan. Does Zeno have enough to reset himself? He might just have a smidge of medkit left. He might just have enough. There's no reason else for Zeno to be injured here. I think Zeno is 99. I think Zeno really wants to chase on top for him, but we just can't afford it. Zeno, I'm pretty sure Zeno's just 99 on his medkit. I really hope so. That'd be an amazing play. He was, and now he takes a tag! Oh my goodness! What a beautiful body block, 99 on his heal. He had just enough medkit. How far is this gen? This gen has a decent amount of progress now, about 50%. It means both of our generators are pretty high prog. Elysium doing a beautiful job between these generators and making sure we heal enough. We do see both of our survivors. I don't know what the right call is. Okay, I did see that correctly. There, it looks like there might be a render bug with Sable's shirt. We are gonna be looking for this reset. Pedro has is gonna be back on the top side of the gens. We do see scratch marks, which means we know where our survivors are. Zeno back down on the ground. It looks like we're gonna be taking our second hook onto him as well. Oh, we don't have a... Oh, this is such a close game. Nightlight doing a beautiful job keeping these gens down and playing really good macro and ending chases quickly. He's had a lot of pressure this game and doing very well. We do have the Marcus set up for a very quick pull. And it looks like we're trying to bait that. Really want to bait Marcus into a bad pull here. Nightlight sending it, finding Pedro HZ here. And this should be the time we do end up seeing the pull onto Zeno. Zeno back in the game. We are on to Pedro. Do we? I wonder if we take this pressure. I wonder what Zena's plan is here. Are we going to be playing for a fast pull, it looks like? It looks like they understand that... I think they understand right now that they need to play really risky to be able to make sure a gen pops. Marcos is fully sitting on to 5 here. It looks like we used life. No, we didn't use life. What did we drop a pallet, I think? Zeno gets caught here. This game is over. That is all there is to it. Zeno going for the pull though. And we see it. I don't know if this is worth. Oh, this is gonna be such. This is gonna be close. Zeno has to somehow make it out of this. A beautiful body block by Pedro, but I don't know if it's gonna make a big difference. Zeno is gonna die here. Will it be enough time bought for our Marcos to pop that gen? It looks like we are gonna be taking this down. And this is going to be Zeno out of the trial. I think this is just enough time for Marcos to pop that gen. But Marcos gonna be the one in chase immediately. So, oh, our blink doesn't go as far as we want it. Who did we see? I think we saw Pedro's scratch marks. We are on to Pedro, which means we could see a fresh out of this trial. I think we do. And Pedro will be taking that down into the corner opposite of the door. I don't think there's any word we'll make it there in time. We will be seeing that out here, guaranteed. And we will go back for Pedro HC. That is gonna be 9 stages. And with that, we will be right back with Team Elysium on Kill It. And I will not be alone. We will have Contra here now with us for our next trial. So you guys don't just have to listen to me this time. But we'll be right back with our second trial and our second match. Welcome back, everybody. We are back with trial number 2, set number 2. We got Zeno playing for Team Elysium, taking up against Spitz, Kexo, Pedro, and Dan. Thankfully, you don't gotta just listen to me this time. I am not alone. I'm here with Contra. How do you think Zeno has to go kind of into this match?
Hi, Draxy. Thank you for welcoming me into this. This is a match I'm excited to see, and Zeno, I do think, has his work cut out for him. Getting 10 stages or 9 stages for Fresh on the Nurse doesn't sound like a very difficult win condition for the Nurse, but she has trouble meeting that sometimes on the Coal Tower. And Draxy, as you know, this map is a lot bigger than the Coal Tower, making it a lot harder for the Nurse to keep up. But that being said, Zeno got a pretty quick first down onto Pedro, so I think this is a good start for him.
I also want to say we do not see Corrupt this time around. We actually see a little bit of a different build when we saw last trial. We see Ruin, Thrill, Agi, and Eruption, which means he understands that he needs to get fast down, so there's almost no point in bringing Corrupt. We also know both teams are really good at Nurse, and we also just see Ruin out of the way, which means he is down to 2 perks only at the beginning of the trial. Could be problems endgame.
Yes, and I do want to say, I think this is a good decision by Zeno here to not go back to Hook and commit to Spitz. He knows that Pedro is unhooked at a good time, to where if Zeno were to leave Spitz, Pedro would have a lot of distance with these survivors and comms. And Zeno has now Spitz hooked, and not, I was going to say in a 3-gen, but I normally see better generator setups in the Carnival Draxy. It's not too great over here. It's very loose 3-gen, so Zeno, I don't think, can camp this or hold this for a very long time. And right now, I do want to mention, they did cleanse 1 totem. Invictus did get one of his totems, and it turned out to be a Ruin. So now they don't even have to cleanse Thrill. They won the lottery. They only had to cleanse 1 totem. So now Zeno really has only Eruption to rely on for the slowdown.
We do see Dan also now playing for Pole, wasting time as much as he can before he has to go in and trade. We also see a little bit different for Dan is he doesn't have UB. So there's no world he's able to get up after he gets his trade. We also see he has DS as well. So we're kind of putting all our baskets onto Dan, all our eggs in one basket. And it looks like Dan, we really want him to be hooked and chased. But in the scenario, Spitz able to make it down with that tag, and will he be able to take it all the way down? He does have light, and it looks like we are forcing him edge map, but we don't get that down. So he's able to make it all the way Shack, which is really good for Team Invictus.
Yes, I agree. And Spitz making use of that extended endurance with that 15-second BT, using it at the same time as his life. He took that borrowed time hit, so he made it all the way down here to the Shack side of the map. Very good for Invictus if they're planning to crank those topside generators, which I imagine is the plan right about now. And the tunnel out is seemingly transferred over to Spitz here. And as we saw, Dan is our deliverance player. He is now healthy. And Draxy, we did see a For the People on Dan. So I imagine if he's set up for it in time, we might see a quick unhook that Dan does, and maybe a For the People while Zeno is away from Hook here.
And I think you are 100% right, as we do get the pull and FTP as soon as he blinks away. He's all the way top side. He does have a loose 3-gen. Not the greatest though, and what we know about a lot of counterplay for Nurse is a lot of pre-leaving. So with our 3rd generator being main, I mean, I don't even think you can count that as a 3-gen if I'm mistaken, unless we have a generator, maybe 9. But Nurse's weakness on, especially even Coal Tower, is pre-leaving a lot and just playing at max distance. This is the map for it. And actually, keeping Chase topside looks like it's going to be really well played because we have a 3-gen bottom, not top.
Yeah, I did touch on it earlier, but yeah, I didn't realize how actually bad it was. Zeno's generator setup topside is not very good. As you mentioned, one of the generators is the main building, which is pretty far. It's not really towards the Carnival. It's more central to the map. So Zeno did lose the little RNG game of, do I have a good generator setup in the Carnival? It doesn't look very good here, but actually, ooh, very good blink by Zeno, cutting off Pedro, but he still gets that dead hard. Now Draxy, Pedro makes all the way bottom again. Poor Zeno, he's not able to keep up with the top side here.
Wait, are we tripling a gen?
They are.
I
I
mean,
guess Invictus really wants to get down to one generator remaining for this tunnel out chase, whether it's on Spitz or Pedro. I think they just want to be in a position where they can crank one generator for that last chase, and it may work out here. And as we can see, that generator spread is pretty good. We probably would see one survivor working main, while another set of survivors stacks a carnival generator. Jaxi, I imagine that would be the play.
yeah, I want to agree. And Pedro has BL, so I mean, when that does come through, I mean, Dan can get a pull and just get him instantly reset. We have BL for main, which means almost guaranteed max distance at any point in time. Everybody, we also see overcome on Kexo, so Kexo can play really deep. Kexo and Dan both can play really deep in the street gen and almost always guarantee get out.
Yes, that is also something that we will see a lot of these high level teams utilize against the nurse. Again, this overcome coming in with all this
Wait.
distance, but I want to say I'm eating my words a little bit. I was going to say they're going to use their exhaustions very, very well to make optimal death spots, but I think Kexo messed up a little bit. He played to avoid the injury from Xeno for a little while before getting hit, but unintentionally forced that hit all the way deep in the carnival. So Kexo not really able to make a whole lot of distance there. That overcome didn't get him bottom, and I think that was a little bit of a mistake. We saw the other survivors. I think it was Spitz using his glide down the map and Pedro using Dead Hard to make it bottom. But Kexo, I think, took his hit in a bad spot there, Draxi. That might be a mistake we'll see punished.
We did see Dan through the little window, or not, yeah, we saw him through the window. But we also, this could go either way still. We have 5 stages already on the board. And, I mean, they don't have a lot of gen progress at the moment. We have maybe about 25, but this is where the game can change. Because if we spend too much time looking for Dan, that gen's getting tripled.
Oh, yeah. Xeno has to be very careful with his time here. And despite that happening with Kexo, right now with Xeno's win condition, he would need to get another hook on a survivor, such as Kexo or kill Spitz or Pedro. And then if he hooks Dan and camps him to death, that would in theory be win con, right? Because it's 9 stages, 4 fresh. But Dan is a deliverance survivor. With your fresh hook being the deliverance survivor, that could be pretty sketchy. If Dan just dies close to the exit gate, if that scenario happens, he's pretty much guaranteed out with that 15 seconds of haste and endurance. So Xeno has to be really careful here. He almost has to play perfect and rely on Invictus to make a mistake.
Yes, I do agree. I said it last trial that this map is more on punishing the mistakes of survivors. If they do not make mistakes like that, you will not have to. Oh, it's mainly, even if he does end up hooking Dan right now, he still needs 4 hooks to be able to tie or be able to take this. This is all pressure, so there's no more capability of tying. But with 3 more stages on the board needed, and Deli being hooked, this is still more favorable for Invictus than it is for Team Elysium. And that is all gens pop. We need 3 more hooks to be able to take the win this trial.
You're right, Draxi. Xeno needs 3 more hooks, and looking at the HUD here, there is no survivor worth 3 hooks. All the fresh hooks have been achieved. I want to say it's impossible if Invictus plays this right. All they have to do is force a locker, and then everybody else is out. Is that what Pedro is doing here? He's not. Pedro is actually looking to juke a little bit, but these other survivors are out through the exit gates. And oh, okay, now he's forcing a locker so Spitz can get out. Oh, the last second swing.
Well, with that, that means we are going into trial number 3, which is Knight with a 2-0 lead for Team Invictus. So Team Elysium has to do something insane and make a really big comeback. We'll be right back after this break.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Entity's Campfire. We are back with this Invictus versus Elysium matchup. And right now, Invictus is up 2-0. And of course, I'm joined with Draxi here. Draxi, this is actually my first time ever casting a competitive night game. So what do you think we could expect from Obi to pull off here?
This is my second time, actually. Last time I've casted was last week when it was Practice versus Elysium, and Elysium picked Knight as well. So, I don't mind the Knight set at all. The only issues I've ever had with the Knight set is it looks like when they send a guard out, the frames kind of lock. It almost looks like 60 frames per second. That is the only thing I've ever noticed about it, but Knight sets are really interesting, seeing how teams play against it and how much teamwork it really requires on the serve side.
Yeah, there is a little bit of a coordination set. A lot of people don't think of that when they think Knight, but it will be a lot of things like taking the guard for your teammate, especially if they're injured or in a vulnerable spot. You do have to help them and take that guard. But a lot of times we will see this come in right there with that fast break. I think I forget the name of the guard that breaks the pallet very fast, but we're going to see that a lot to shred through those pallets. And Nightlight might be in a little bit of trouble here. I think they're trying to double that generator.
I think that's the crucifix, right?
Yeah, I think crucifix. Yeah, something. Crucifix something. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. This killer
I don't know
is
this
not
killer.
one I ever played.
And that with that quick break, and the fact that you can just walk through. Oh wait, we have Force Hesi.
Oh, that is Force Hesi. Oh, Carnifex. Draxi. That's
Carnifex.
That's what. There we go. We got there eventually. But yeah, that is a Force Hesi. I'm a little surprised to not see Obi slug for a second there. At least maybe try and force an injury or shack pellet. But that is the first hook of the game. No pain resonance. That will be actually a basement hook instead. So I wonder, does Obi have a generator set up down here if he hook basements?
No,
does he? No, he doesn't.
No.
Not really. Interesting. I wonder
Our
the
frames.
reason for Obi hooking there.
I don't know. Maybe a little bit safety and try to force a trade out on somebody. Yeah, the frames when you go into guard mode is so bad. It's
Unfortunate.
just becomes a slideshow. And with that, we do get Pedro now having to run away. We saw somebody working a totem. Oh, we have a spicy totem.
Oh, yeah. And at this point, Draxi, Obi has lingered kind of close to this hook, or at least proxying this hook for about half of this hook stage. So I imagine
Oh, no.
he would... No, okay, he's not going back. I'm eating my words a little bit. Usually whenever killer is in a competitive game like this, proxy a hook or camp a hook for a little bit, they'll usually see it through and camp that second stage. But we're actually seeing Obi just not really care that much about a Nightlight getting unhooked. They unhooked Nightlight for free, and now Pedro is being chased by the generators here, and we're just seeing that Carnifex shredding through the pallets yet again, and Pedro doing a good job in this chase. But Draxi, with Ruin, I think, being gone, I'm pretty sure Spitz went ahead and cleansed that Ruin.
Yes.
We don't really have a whole lot to work with now. The only generator slowdown perk we have left is Pain Resonance. So unless Obi gets like some kind of forced hesitation snowball, there isn't a whole lot he can do to keep these generators under control. So now, almost like last match, I kind of feel like it's on the survivors to mess up here. They've had an excellent start. They popped 2 generators, and Obi is down 1 perk. So I don't know. I think Elysium on the killer side here will have to make a bit of a comeback to put up a good result.
I honestly, I want to say he's pretty much down to 1 perk remaining. Corrupt really didn't get... it got some use for 2 gens popped. Painers hasn't been used at all. Ruin is now gone. And Force Hesitation we know about because of the first down on the Nightlight. So I don't know if we'll see another Force Hesi situation because of it being a known so early. I think Painters is all we kind of have to work with, and right now we are struggling to get any form of down and any information. Our survivors are playing immaculate on their distance and not really giving downs or tags to the guards like we've seen in the past.
Yeah, Invictus doing a very good job on the survivor side here until Pedro gets hit there. That is not what you want to happen. And because that was a guard hit, Obi is able to follow up and catch up very fast here, and actually baiting the Carnifex drop. I was a little surprised we didn't see any of that earlier, because these survivors know that the killer has a pallet shredding power, and we did see earlier Nightlight was kind of just dropping them. But here we're seeing Pedro wait and see what the killer does, and then Obi didn't end up sending it, and it's a little bit of a game of like reading your opponent, just back and forth between both of them. But right now, Pedro eventually going down, and there's a lot of generator progress. We're almost down to 1 gen remaining, Draxi. Do you think Obi is able to pull off more than 5 or 6 stages here? Because to me, it's looking grim. I'm not sure how much he can do to get a big result here.
I really think it's going to be more based on will the survivors make a mistake. I think that is kind of what we're seeing in these games, is what side makes more mistakes on survivor side than killers making really big fancy plays. Right now, what we're seeing is Invictus playing really optimal around guard, really well played around Mako, and just not giving any big potential to snowball. Other teams I've seen, or last week when I saw Obi play, he was able to get a lot of pressure based on a lot of mistakes made from the survivor side. This time around, we haven't seen anything big happen, and our survivor's been playing really well around these guards. And it looks like we're trying to get an assassin to take Dan out.
Well, Obi, okay, it might not be obvious what Obi was doing there. Oh, do we have a survivor looking for flashlight save? No, is that Force Hezi? Was it on cooldown? Yeah,
And
no,
well,
it's not on cooldown. Do we see a Force Hezi down? No, no, that has too much distance. But Obi making a very good decision there. Adrenaline. That's why Spitz came in. But Obi, that's the last generator popping, so I don't think we'll be seeing a lot more hook stages come in. But I want to touch on what Obi did there. He had actually stepped away from the guard, chasing Dan there, because he knows that when he's close to the guard and the survivor, the guard will kind of go away faster and stop chasing. So Obi actually went back and let the guard zone Dan a little bit, and then went in when it was safe to get that hit. So very good little decision making by Obi there. Unfortunately, he's playing the Knight, so I don't really know how much that will do for him here, because he ended up getting that down. But now we're just chasing Pedro again. He's already been booked. So I don't know. Invictus right now, it can guarantee that they give 5 stages if they just leave right now and Pedro dies.
Ooh, I wonder if they're gonna take that. It almost seems like they want to play for this and get a 4 stage only. It is difficult, but again, it is Knight. It is possible.
There is 2 things I want to mention. The survivors have some exhaustion perks to work with. I think we saw a bounce landing earlier, and I think that's really the only one you can reliably get off here. Head on and smash it. A little not very guaranteed here in the end game. But another thing is the Knight is pretty much an M1 killer here if you're trying to unhook against them, because the moment a survivor touches the hook, they're no longer chased by the guard. And if the guard is chasing somebody else, you can still have 2 survivors double unhook and have that last person come in. But look, Nightlight is abusing that here. That guard is
Wait, we didn't hit Dan!
And he hit Pedro on hook. Are we going to see 4 stages here, Draxi?
We are! Nightlight able to get a body block and same with... Oh no. We got 4 stages. Really well played.
Even up.
Wait. There's a high possibility if our killer for Team Invictus plays optimal that this is only a BO3 and they go 3-0. There's a high chance of that, and we'll be right back to see if that's what happens. Welcome back, everybody, to the night. We have Kexo playing for Team Invictus, and a 5-stage win condition here for them as well. And we do have Team Elysium, Pedro, Zaka, Ivan, and Zeno playing the survivors, and they have a very hard task ahead of them. Do you think this is possible for Team Elysium to take the dub here?
I think anything is possible. I don't like to count anybody out, especially Elysium, a very explosive team that can do a lot under pressure. But again, this is not an easy win condition. To win this, Elysium has to give away 3 stages, because I believe last trial was 4 stages, 3 fresh, if I'm not mistaken. So I guess they could give away 4 stages on 2 different survivors. But that or 3 stages is their win condition. And especially seeing Kexel's build here with Noed, Draxi, I think that is not impossible, but Elysium has to play perfect, and I do think they also have to get lucky a little bit.
No, Zaka panic vaulting, and that is the death onto Zaka at 5. I mean, if you need a good start, this is unfortunately not looking like the best start for Team. Hot Palette. Sorry, the Shack Palette just being there, realizing it was funny to me. And that is the first hook at 5. We just need these chases to last forever for Team Elysium to have a shot.
Yeah, but as you said, this is not the start Elysium wants for this win condition. We are seeing Zeno use balance landing off this main building, but I don't really think he has a whole lot to work with here. We do have this one variant tile here with the pallet, but Kexo, also being a pretty good night player here as well, uses the Carnifex to instantly break that pallet, and I think senses Zeno still here on the other side of this. And now this is where, when you're playing as a knight and you don't have somebody to help you, you're in a lose-lose situation. Zeno cannot avoid this down. He just has to control where he dies. But Draxi, this is already about like half of the win condition. This is 2 stages out of 4, and if Kexo gets 1 stage on each survivor, even, that would be a win.
And this is going to be pain res onto Ivan's generator, which means our most progressed generator is 50%. At 5 generators with only 2 hooks you can give up remaining. Like, we're in a really tough position right now for Team Elysium. And this might just potentially already be over.
Yeah, it's an uphill battle from here for Elysium. But right now, I don't want to keep counting Elysium out, because we have seen this team do a lot of crazy things, like borderline magic. So maybe we'll see them do some magic here. I don't like counting them out too early, but it is going to be very difficult.
It's so difficult.
Pedro here does not have the shack anymore. Kexo shredding through the Carnifex. And again, when you don't have anybody to help you and chase here, we don't have a survivor to take the guard or anything for Pedro. He's already going down, and that's 75% of this win condition, Draxi.
This is really rough. Like, I understand a really strong team, but even in this position, it's not easy. Anybody. I mean, we got our first generator. 1 more hook will tie it, unless we find Ivan. If Ivan is found, that might just be game over.
Yep, and it looks like Kexo is, from the beginning of this game, not really going for this tunnel out strategy. He knows going into this trial, he doesn't need to 4K, he doesn't need 10 stages or 9 stages. He just needs 4 with all fresh, or 5 stages. That would be a win. And we've just seen him spreading this pressure, getting these hooks on pain resonance, and getting value out of that. But, as we speak, Zeno getting caught out a little bit. Will be taking an injury here by the main building. And I think Kexo right now knows Ivan might be playing slow, so he may be just happy to take whatever Elysium is willing to give him. And a hook onto Zeno here, if I'm not mistaken, would be tie condition. So anything after that would be a win.
Yes, unless we do find Ivan and we drop Zeno. Right now, Zeno having a really good chase. This is what you need. If Zeno can just last for a while, hopefully somebody can take this guard for him. Oh no, we need help. And there's no one nearby.
Zeno doesn't need help.
Help, team.
Unfortunately for Zeno, I don't think any help is coming. Does he make this pallet? No, he doesn't. Well, all right, Draxi. I think right now this is at the point now where we are at the stage of the game anything Kexo gets will be a win. Elysium cannot give another stage of any kind. But to win this, they have to make sure Xeno doesn't die on this hook. So they have to safely unhook Xeno without it being a trade. They have to pop the next 3 generators and then get everybody out the exit gate through Noed. That is what Elysium has to do.
Man. Look, I love any team, but reality is this is not gonna be easy. Like, this is a situation that's nearly like 99.9% impossible to complete. There is still a chance and that would be like one of the most insane things to see, but we have to. I mean, they have 2 really high progress generators. It's a possibility, but we need to get a double save. We have to get a double save, pop both generators, and then get out. Noah, though, gonna be the trump card in Kex's pocket. He knows he doesn't have to do anything flashy. And they're both coming in. It looks like we have Ivan rotating for the main gen, and both of our survivors coming in.
Yeah, Kexo understanding that they need to double save this. If Elysium were to trade, Kexo could just take that hook and it's a win. But we're probably just... Oh, he hits Xeno unhook by accident! So they get this unhook for free, but I think he's just going to commit Pedro here. Anything is win condition, and Pedro does not have haste or endurance or anything like that, and an optimal target here for this win condition. And Zaka coming in with that hit tank, but who will Kexo commit? That's the question. He just needs a stage on anybody. And right now, I think... Is this Pedro and Chase here?
Yes.
I think this is still... Oh, Pedro sent it away. He has so much distance now, Draxi.
Ivan, we need your help. Ivan's not playing.
Where is Ivan? Is he stacking that generator? I think Zaka was playing to take this guard, but he's injured, so he can't
He's down.
take a hit or anything like that. And Kexo just gets his hook, and then he wins. That's all he needs. So,
oh no.
Draxi, if I'm not mistaken, that is match points for Invictus as well. So they will be taking this best of 5 with a clean 3-0 here.
I do agree, which means, if I'm correct, next week we'll have our second best of 5 for Team Invictus versus Elysium, but it is right now 1-0 out of the best of 5 sets. So it is a best of 3 of 3 best of 5s. And Noah coming in just to confirm, just a little, just to let him know that no matter what, he was fine. But we will be back. I mean, that's all we have for today. We'll be back with Invictus versus Elysium again. And will Elysium be able to make it a tie into a 1-1, or will Invictus take the 2-0 sweep and be the team to meet Ascent in the grand finals? We appreciate you all. I'm Draxi, and I'm here with Contra, and we appreciate you guys hanging out with us today.
Yeah, thank you all for coming out. And as Draxi said, this will be the first of the 3 best of 5s between these 2 teams. So Elysium isn't completely out of it yet. We will have to see some consistency with Invictus, and they will have to beat them again to eliminate Elysium entirely. But yeah, as Draxi said, that is all we have for today. And if I'm not mistaken as well, yeah, I do believe next week we would have this second best of 5 game. And Draxi, I don't know about you, but that might be the game I'm looking forward to the most for next week, because I enjoy watching these 2 teams play versus each other so much. And with it being that critical match for Elysium where they will be eliminated unless they win, that will be a very high stakes game. So I'm looking forward to that.
I'm very excited to see what team will be able to make it to play against Ascent, and I'm excited for it. So much content coming up, and we appreciate you. Thank you, everybody, and have an amazing rest of your day.